Hello everyone. I am going to make a tutorial on, it's called ducking and sidechaining in Cakewalk by BandLab. Okay, and that is with using Neutron 2. Okay, so I have here in this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze these down because I have a feeling it might just give me a little bit better latency when it comes to the visual display. When there, I think that it will just give me better latency when I'm not using. Now that is my bass part. Okay, and wait till that is done, and then I have a this is my drum part. Okay, we're going to freeze that down also. Hopefully we got a good volume on that. And I'm using this bass. This bass is a synth bass from Dimension Pro. And the drums are a drum pattern that I got from pack, Addictive Drums 2 pack. It's called Loud. And so it's one of the MIDI drum packs. Oh yeah, that's a nice healthy looking wave also. So these are perfect waves to do this with now. So this is the second time that I've had to make this video because I have just learned how to do ducking and this side chaining thing. And luckily I've done it before, so that now I'm going to, with different plugins. So I kind of, if I hadn't, I never would have been able to figure out how to do this. So what you do is you take first, and you put your Neutron 2 into your effects bin on both of the channels. The channel that you want to do the cutting, and the channel that you want to cut things out of. So now I hold shift and I should be able to open both of these at the same time. Now, okay, now, so the bass, okay, we're going to put the bass over here, and the drums, just because that's the way I'm used to working with it. Now the bass is what I'm going to cut the drums out of the bass. So I'm going to turn off the compressor just to keep things simple. Now, so what I've done pretty much is I've just made my tracks first, okay? Now we're going to listen to it real quick, and I'll show you what these tracks sound like, okay? Now it's not that they really need to be cut out. So it's just that this is a test, okay? So it's really simple. You've got your drum track, you've got your bass track, okay? Now what you need to do, now what I do is I'm going to go here, and I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn masking on and select drums. And that, I believe this just shows you where the drums and bass conflict, okay? And so now I'm going to select which node that I want to use for ducking. I can use like a node like this for ducking, or a node up here like that for ducking. I could also use this high pass filter here, type of curve. But I'm going to use this one, which is kind of like a shelf. It's going to be a high pass shelf. And so I'm going to use this one. Now what I'm going to do is click down here into the show arrow and select this, and then I want it to go down, so I want it to actually reduce the bass when the drum beat beats, okay? And now I'm going to select this external full, okay? And there's a high pass and low shelf also, but I'm going to click this external full, and I'm not sure how a lot of this works because I just learned how to do this today. So, but you click this external full, and you click this drums, and you click this neutron, and that should basically set up this neutron instance for for um, for sidechaining. Now there's a lot. It seems simple, you know, to just basically put neutron in like this, click masking, and then select which one you want, and select dynamic mode, and go into. That's if you want the masking to actually change with the drum beat. Now and then select this in an extension external full, and it seems, well, that's simple, but what's going on behind the scenes is a little more complicated, where I believe that neutron is actually copying, it's taking the send that's coming in and muting that send, but it's using the send somehow um, to cut this out, and it's not doubling the send and all of this. So, okay, now then you have to come back to your channel here, okay, to your drum channel, and it's quite simple, but you just click insert, and then make sure that you click the neutron bass, okay, and that is your sidechain. Okay, now when I click play here, it should, yes, see? Now, and at first I was wondering if this was actually working, but if you'll notice now, and I'm going to try the zero latency thing, is that when you hear the drums do the ta-da-da-da, watch the little arrow here. See that? It is actually the drum beat, and if you'll notice, when I go like this, it cuts out more of the bass and just leaves the drums. So it's working, okay? It's actually working, okay? And if you just want the bass drum cut out, you can change the angle of the shelf and all of that here. So I think it's here, somewhere here as a shelf angle. But okay, so basically you get the idea on how this works, okay? So now you can change this, and instead of that one, I can turn that off, and I can click this one and do the same thing with it, and go external full, and I can do the same thing here. So I can cut just out. I can cut out just as, now if I raise the sensitivity up here, it shows me where my now it shows me where the drums, that all those shady lines, shaded like gray lines over the black, there's not much, it's showing where the actual masking is happening, where it's kind of like an overlap where the bass and drums are fighting for those same frequencies. And see, so when I move this around, okay, it actually, if I bring this down like this, up into here, you'll see it brings that down now. And so that now if I widen this a little bit, it should cut most of that frequency out. Yeah, see how that? And then you're going to get mostly your bass drum masked out of the bass, okay? And that's actually sounds, in my earbuds right now, it sounds quite clean to me, so it's working. Now, as in for the snare is up in here a little bit more. And you can see where it's hitting right in there. So now, now how I would turn this on, and I suppose, yeah, if I were to just go external again, it's going to use the same signal at that band, cut out the okay, and so it's going to cut out the snare band also, because apparently this is the external instrument that's coming in, and how this and I assume at this point you could even emphasize the bass drum, and also the snare if you wanted to actually. So okay, so I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. You know, I like to be like the kind of person who just acts like they've been doing it all their life, but no, I just learned this today, and I had to learn how to do it. And I went on forums and I asked a bunch of people how to do it, and so far I haven't gotten an answer from people on how to do it. So I decided I was just going to, you know, try to attempt to do it myself, and having some tea tonight. And so this is what I have come up with, okay? And so now I have wanted to also try another test, okay? So what I'm going to do is insert a soft synth and a Dimension Pro soft synth, and we will use one of my favorite settings here, which doesn't happen to be in the list there, but as quiet as possible. Okay, and I'm going to try to do 2 instances of this and see if I can duck another channel and see if that external is separate from what we're trying to do here. So, okay, so this is our, I'm going to arm this track and find. Okay, I have to figure out what chords. I can't hear it right now. This darn yes, it's as quiet as possible. It's like so quiet you can't hear it. So I'm going to try and up some of this gain a little bit. Okay, that's the correct one chord. Okay, now where does the second chord start? Okay, so I think we got our chords. Okay, roughly about, so I know what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do is lay down some chords. What I'm going to do is try and find out if I can do a couple of instances of ducking, okay? So okay, now let's make sure we have sound on sound selected. Yet we do. All right, I'm going to go into here and like shore this up so it happens at the beginning, and shore this one up. Okay. Now, I think this is our next chord here. Okay, that's our next chord. Okay. Okay, so there is our, okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to quantize this all, so save me a little bit of editing. Process, quantize, 16th notes, and there they are all lined up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce them to clips, and then I'm going to turn this into a groove clip. And now I'm going to see if it transposes to my song here. Yep, out to here. Let's see if this works. Now, kind of sounds a little bit like James Bond-ish. Okay, so this song doesn't have any name yet, so okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another track. Okay, we're going to save this. Oh, I just want to make sure that this transposed, that I didn't mess up. Okay, so this low one here, this is another one. And I did want to go, I'm not going to mess with that for now, okay, with the velocities, but I wanted to level out the velocities. Let's mix this down also. Okay, now I'm going to put some vocals in, and let's see if we can come up with a few lyrics. I don't know why the left side looks a little louder than the right, but that'll do for a okay, we're plugged into here, we're plugged into this, okay. And now I'm going to insert an audio track. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add the input, which is going to be my QUAD-CAPTURE left. Hello, hello. Okay, now I'm going to just kind of rap a little bit. Now is a time when we all must wonder what our lives are coming to. We got to figure out how we ended up in this place in the first place. What brought us here to this time? And where are we going? What kind of world are we going to leave behind? We try to be satisfied in our everyday life, but some people seek, you know, a golden end, and some people are looking for just to live and make it by each day. So we have to take and figure out what is the best way to get along and try and make this world a better place. So, okay, that's where I'm going to leave this, okay? I just wanted to make something, and I'm going to add a little bit of reverb to just give it some spookiness, and I have to cut out all the uhs.
Wonder what our lives are coming to.
Where?
Figure out how
audio effects
in the first
loud.
What brought us here to this time? And where are we going? What kind of world are we?
Okay, now I'm gonna make this a little bit louder. Process, apply effect, gain. See, I'm just kind of going through a few things. 6 dB boost. I don't want it that it's quite a low track. And I'm going to actually give it another boost. I don't usually like to boost things, but because it's resampling it, but we'll do it this time.
Now is the time when we all must wonder what our lives are coming to.
I'm going to move this out of the way.
We got to figure out how we ended up in this place in the first place. What brought us here?
Ended up here in the first place. Yeah, I can change a lot of. This might just be a little talky song, but I might add some singing, you know, oohs, things like that. Who knows? Okay, now I have what I needed. Okay, I wanted something that was different than the drum beat, so that I could kind of tell. And I'm going to cut now my voice out of this pad, and we're going to name these pad. Name this one pad. And we're going to name this one vocal. L vocal for lead vocal. V-O-C-A-L. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to add Neutron to here. And we're going to call this L vocal. And I am going to, we're going to turn this one on. Okay, we're not cutting out the vocal. We're cutting out. So the pad is what we're going to cut the vocal out of, okay? So I'm going to now turn off the compressor for now. Turn off the compressor here for now. All right, and I'm going to send the vocal to the sidechain here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick one of these, and I'm going to do the masking thing, and I'm going to say vocal. And then I'm also, because I don't know exactly what makes all this work, but I do know that if I don't create this send here, it won't work. So I'm going to create this and send this now to pad. Okay, now I should have both the lead vocal, here it is, and I have my pad here. Now let's see what we can do here. Where is our masking happening?
Now is the time when we all must wonder.
Okay, I have to come here, and it did work actually, but let's go down here. Now I'm going to go to dynamic mode, and I'm going to pick external full. And see if I end up with drum beat in here.
Now is the time when we all...
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. So it does work exactly like I thought. See, now let's see where we have...
Now is the time when we all must wonder what our lives are coming to. We got to figure out how we ended up in this place in the first place. What brought us here to this time? Where are we going? What kind of work?
See, so now I can pick the biggest spots where, okay, this 3, we're going to go here, we want that down also, we're going to pick this spot, and we're going to go external full, and there's another little spot I can take this little section out
Now
here.
is the time when we all must wonder what our lives are coming to. We got to figure out how we ended up in this place in the first place. What brought us here to this time? And where where are we going? What kind of world are we going to leave behind? We try to be satisfied in our everyday life.
We're going to go to 5.
Some people seek,
Now, if you don't turn this on to be external, this is going to work just simply as an EQ on, but if you do this external.
Now is the time when we all must wonder what our lives are coming to.
And see, what's really nice about this is that it's just affecting the these kind of small areas that of the sound, and it's leaving the rest of the sound intact. And
now is the time when we all must wonder what our lives are coming to. We got to figure out how we ended up in this place in the first place.
We ended up
what
here
brought us here
in
to
the
this
first place.
time, and where are we going? What kind of world are we going to leave behind? We try to be satisfied in our everyday life, but some people seek, a golden
throne
end, and some people are looking for just to live and make it by each day. So we have to take and figure out what is the best way to
this is so nice.
get
Look,
along.
now every time my voice speaks,
Try and make this world a better place.
and okay, now this right here, if I click on one of these, I can set how sensitive it is to when it's going to pick up the vocals. So, okay, so this should pretty much get you going on using Neutron. And so this will also probably work in the same exact way if you make a bus here and you create a bus, and then you put a bunch of tracks here, say all of your pad tracks, and you want the vocal to cut out of your pad tracks, or if you've got guitars and the vocals and the guitars are competing. This is a really good way to just take a particular instrument that is in the way and cut it out. Cut that one instrument out, so you can still leave it kind of up and provide some sort of accompaniment to your song, and not but just cut out the sections that really they're masking one another. Okay, so all right, I hope this tutorial was helpful in how to do this. And so there again, so you just basically would take and send your tracks to send all of these send all of them, instead of to the master, you would send them to another bus, and so they would all be contained in this one bus where you have one volume for them. Then you add Neutron to this bus, and you do that same thing. Whatever you want to use to cut out of this track, you would add the send to that track. And down in here, down in your send, if you wanted to say cut the pad out of something and have the pad show more, then you would add your send here and send it to the bus, which would be listed in here. Okay, so all right, I hope this was helpful. I certainly am excited to be able to use this feature now that I know how to use it. And I'm not sure exactly if I'm using it right. It seems like I am, but it would be there. There are probably other ways to do it where, and also with the compressor, you can do the same thing with the compressor. And I might come back with another video showing how to do the same exact thing. And in a way, I think that this EQ, that's exactly what it's doing. It's using the EQ as a kind of compressor. It's attenuating the level of inflection in the voice and using that to cut it out specifically a certain amount in that area that you choose. So it is using this EQ like a multi-band compressor. But you can also do this, I think, with the compressor, and I'm not sure exactly how that's done yet. So, but one thing at a time. So, and also, there was something I wanted to say. The Yeah, and how it cuts it out of the compressor, and whether if so that external is your send coming in that you've sent um, to that particular instance of Neutron. Yeah, and using the ducking feature allows you to kind of tell where you want to cut these frequencies out, and so. All right. Thank you for watching this, and please subscribe and add comments down below. Click on the bell if you'd like to know when I'm going to release another video. I will be probably releasing a lot more videos on how to use Neutron and Ozone 8 here in Cakewalk by BandLab. Okay. Check out my music at rexred.com, and I promise most of it I don't talk through. So, all right. Okay, thanks again. All right. Bye-bye.